It's almost already my legacy monitor.
That's stream more than I have.
And it's really great because you're live on YouTube now.
Yo.
No, I just started the stream. As a new adventure, and well, I don't know how to start it, but anyhow, it's really great to finally meet Gary, who's been writing quite a few Tanuki Tuesday blog posts this year already about GitLab and CI/CD. So yeah, probably want to start with, again, a short introduction round, and then we might just figure out what to do or what to talk about. And I'm asking, how is the weather in Lower Austria?
Snowy. So my name is Michael Agner. I'm a product manager and software engineer at a company called ZKW. So we build headlamps for the automotive industry. And I specifically build high-performance computing apps with C++, so CAD engines, ray tracer, and so on. And yeah, so I would hand over to Niklas.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Niklas Mietz. I'm a GitLab hero. Currently, I'm working as a senior DevOps engineer for a company called Svelte. We're doing a lot of interesting stuff. So we're doing a lot of stuff with compliance mostly. And I'm doing only the hot topics. So I do blockchain and also on Kubernetes. So I mostly like to do the fun new stuff. Yeah, and I really like to contribute every week here. So I will hand over to David, probably.
Hello, I'm David. I'm from Puppet. Currently, with all the branding that I can cram into a video background, I'm a senior engineer on the content team, responsible for all the Puppet content, all the supported Puppet content on the Forge, and as a tech lead, just being the responsible for everything technical, I guess you could say, yeah.
Okay, I'm the crazy one who brought everyone together here. It's been 10.5, 10 and a half months now with GitLab. Yeah, and I'm kind of trying to figure out what we can talk about, what we can learn from us. And to be honest, I have no idea how we bumped into each other, Gary. But maybe you wanna kick off and introduce yourself.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Gary Bell. I'm senior developer and tech lead at a company called eCigarette Direct. We sell vape products online in the UK. Slightly controversial industry for some, but there we are. I've got a PHP background, and that's what we build our platform on. And use GitLab for all of our pipeline stuff, so unit testing. We're going to integrate the deployments for the new platform in the next couple of months. And yeah, I love GitLab as a product, so I blog quite a lot about it, and hopefully can guide people into using it and moving away from other solutions, just because I think it's the right one for me and probably a lot more. And we'll have bumped into each other, Michael, on Twitter, either something I shared or some comment I made, once I got it up and running with Gitpod.
Yes, I think you have been one of the first contributors to trying out the GitLab GDK, the development kit with Gitpod, I think.
Yeah, I think I was given access to it about a week before it went public. So that was pretty interesting. So I was very keen to get up and running with that and had a blog post ready to go. And then Gitpod got in touch and said, we haven't done the press release ourselves for this. Can you hold off a couple of weeks? So I was like, oh, got a complete exclusive and I'm not allowed to use it. So no, it was great to sort of get introduced to those guys as well. And I've got another Gitpod post coming out beginning of February. I started, went through the process of setting up a completely greenfield project with them, just to sort of see what it's like for somebody just starting out on projects. Is it a viable option for people that way, and had some good interactions with Christian at Gitpod with that.
That's great. I think there is a Docker Rosenheim meetup, which also covers Gitpod and rootless and other things coming up also in February. I just don't have the link handy now. And I've seen that Max joined us.
Yeah, hi. Sorry for being a bit late.
No worries. We just did a short introduction round, which means say hi and who you are.
All right, yeah. Hi,
Maybe.
I'm Max. Yeah, I'm a systems engineer from Germany. I recently moved to Görlitz. Yeah, I work at Sys11. It's a company doing managed hosting and managed Kubernetes. So my day is usually spent working on Kubernetes, and my evenings often as well, but on more private stuff and private projects I hack on. Yeah, yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. Niklas, do you want to try the Hetzner provisioning?
Yeah, we can do. So, well, then I need to prepare some stuff at least.
Yeah,
If you-
probably because you've said you can sponsor how many cores? 128?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be on Hetzner really. So because I can go to Packet, but when we want to go on Hetzner, I can also set up a project there. No worries.
We could also try out Packet or like Equinix.
Equinix, right? Yeah. Let me check. I'm not so prepared right now. Give me 1 minute.
Sorry for like making it this an adventure. Maybe the others have a suggestion to try. So one of the ideas was to like install GitLab and auto-scaling runners and try how things work or not work. But we could also dive into anything CI/CD or best practices or ops trace.
Can you give me a quick overview of how the auto scaling runners would work? I don't necessarily need to see them in action, but just like how do I spend my money using those? We're actually running into the problem where on our GitHub installation or on our GitHub Pro account from Puppet, we are running into the limits of their runners, and I just want to know how we can do that better.
To be honest, I don't know how to do it with GitHub and the Actions runner.
Oh yeah, I don't care. Like if I want to make it better with GitHub, I know who I need to talk to internally to spend more money, but I would like to know how the GitLab the GitLab auto scaling runners work, because that sounds a lot more like what I would want.
Yeah, give me.
Yeah, check. There are so one thing you can do is, for example, use the Docker machine executor, which for example spins up additional virtual machines with the runner pre-installed in AWS, or for example in OpenStack. And
Or Hetzner.
there is also Hetzner, and there is a blog post from Max actually, which I'm currently trying to find.
I already posted it in the chat.
Ah, perfect. And as a shameless plug, yeah, that's nice. I've seen you've reposted it to dev.to as well. So
yeah.
Let me share my screen. We have this picture, no, this window.
Wait,
so do you want to walk us through the blog post, Max, maybe?
Okay, yeah, I can try. It has been a while. It worked so good, I don't need to spend any time on debugging it, actually. Give me a second.
You can also share your screen if it's easier for you.
Oh no, I think it's fine like this. So yeah, basically what I used there is a fork of the Docker machine runner, because the GitLab runner itself does not support Hetzner. And someone in the open source community wrote a driver for Hetzner for it. And
mostly to the architecture. It would explain a little bit to the architecture why it's a different runner, not the typical runner. It comes from the topic that they're using for auto-scaling the Docker machine, and Docker machine has a plugin mechanism, so you can drop in your own drivers, and by default, the GitLab runner doesn't provide the Hetzner driver. So that's the reason why you need to get a different image and not the official GitLab runner image.
So there is like a tarball which you need to download, extract, and then run it, and this is basically added into this Hetzner GitLab runner image.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, just to that we were talking about the right thing. Basically, when GitLab triggers a CI run, it would go to that Docker machine thing and say, "Hey, I need some compute to run this CI run," and that will then use that driver to get a machine from Hetzner and execute that CI, right?
No, because the GitLab runner GitLab doesn't push the information to the runner is polling every time. So that's the reason why you set up in the first time the control limit. So it will ask if it needs to spin up a new job. So GitLab is the control plane for spinning up runners mostly.
The picture now. Okay, there are different possibilities, but yeah, the general idea is that you can, like, when there's lots of traffic and lots of jobs in the queue, that you spin up additional virtual machines, and you also shut them down afterwards. And one thing we did in the past with OpenStack was also to define offline times. So basically, the idle time of, like, you have only one virtual machine over the weekends because nobody does anything over the weekend, which also can help reduce the cost.
Yeah, there's an example in my config that I keep the runners longer on the weekend at the bottom. That's an example for it. It's a little bit of the opposite of how you would do it for work, probably. There you would keep them longer and more during the week and none at the weekend. But if I use them, then I usually do it on the weekend. So I don't want to delete them after 1 hour.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're doing the wormhole pattern.
Okay, what else do we need from the configuration? Machine options, which are passed, they are passed as environment variables, I think, somehow, or key value pairs. And the costs.
Yeah, the costs are ridiculous low.
I think I've seen a screenshot of yours where you have like 10 pages of PDF for like starting something, stopping something, and so on.
1 cent per hour for 16 GPUs? Nice.
Yeah, the Hetzner prices are very, very nice.
Never saw such low price tag.
Mostly it would be cooler when they do a calculation in 10 minutes chunks instead of 1 hour. So then you could also save more money.
But you, with Hetzner, you always pay 1 hour. So
okay.
You can't save money by shutting it down after 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, but still, I think I'm using this or this somehow for my personal blog, and also for a different hosting thing. And for me, it was like, oh, I'm clicking there, and something spins up. So I was not auto provisioning it. And the really nice thing was that it has built-in monitoring, or like simple graphs to see CPU and I/O and things alike, because I was migrating a blog and actually a forum, and I was not sure how it would perform, and I just picked it, said, okay, 2 CPUs and some RAM would be totally fine. And it doesn't cost that much. So it's really affordable in comparison to some years ago where it was like dedicated host or something else. It's 20 euros a month. That's too much for me, maybe 50. So yeah, it's really nicely built. And there is also, and there's a compiled tool list somewhere for the Hetzner Cloud. And I think Prometheus also has auto discovery for the services API. And even more things. Did I buy enough time for Niklas?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Probably you can do it. Give me 10 seconds or something like that, and we do it live, literally. So no worries. But I need to. I didn't thought that I need to do it, but no problem.
I can do more marketing for Hetzner. There's no problem. No,
I use it my own, but I'm currently thinking how we can do it in a simple way.
Awesome hCloud. Awesome hCloud. This is a list of tools and things where I can interact with the Hetzner Cloud API. And some abstractions and the like. Just fill it over here. Terraform. To be honest, I haven't tried them. Max, do you use some of them?
Yeah, I use the Terraform provider from Hetzner. It's developed upstream by Hetzner itself. And I use the Ansible module as well. It's also developed by Hetzner. And their CSI driver and their controller manager. So yeah, the two links at the top of integrations as well. So you need to use them if you want some more native Kubernetes support on it.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
It's, for a few weeks now, I run a K3s cluster on Hetzner. And it's provisioned by Terraform and Ansible.
Oh, I know a guy who is a really true repo about Terraform and Kubernetes also. Anyways, yeah, I'm ready. So we do everything live, and we'll see how it goes.
That's the spirit. Okay, then I stop sharing.
And I will start to share. So
if you leak anything, I will tell you.
No, I think I will be not better prepared because I do it on a different monitor. So this time it shouldn't be happening. I prepared the most important stuff. Yeah, literally, because we were talking a little bit about the architecture, and we could probably follow Mark's guide literally. I want to do this. Let me check something. Okay. So because you asking about the architecture, literally what can be done is I use this repository right now on GitHub from Abdi Darwin, because he has a simple diagram right now, and it's really the same on every other cloud. So what we will do now is probably we will use the Gitlab Cloud to have our repository and connect our runner there. And literally what we now do is to create a simple instance that can spin up these VMs literally. So the Gitlab Runner Manager or the Gitlab Runner by itself will spin up then virtual machines against the Hetzner API. And for that case, we need, of course, a Hetzner project. So I have already prepared a project right now. You can see there are no servers in here, and I will click now through the UI literally. And do it. So what's really cool, we could also do it in Terraform or something like else, but first of all, we do it like live. Yeah, probably can choose now the location. So we will probably go into a German-based location to Nuremberg to Michael, so that we're really near to him and having a low latency. What is really cool, in the meantime, Hetzner has pre-warmed VMs. So if you're using the standard VMs, so Ubuntu or something like all these with a Thunder sign literally, you will get them really fast because they will be deployed in under 10 seconds. So it's really cool for doing development on different machines. Yeah. So, and we will start with a small machine because we don't need a so big machine for that. Because this machine needs only be intended to spin up all VFirms. So we're going with the smallest as possible. And then we need to create our SSH key literally. So I have my SSH key there. And then I create the machine literally. And now we will 7 seconds. And the machine is available. So I can use now using this IP address literally and going back into my terminal.
Can you increase it a little?
Of course, I can increase it, Michael. No problem.
Thanks.
Is it big enough? Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I need to get access to the machine. So literally, this is probably, I hope so, this is the standard user there. Yeah. And now I'm in, I got my machine. So this is everything I need to do. So there's nothing on it. So no Docker is there probably. So the next step would be to install Docker. A better way of that is instead of using it right now in this way, let me check how to minimize it again. And you can also provide on the boot. So when you're creating a new machine, let me check. Creating a new machine, you can also provide a cloud init configuration that will do all the steps that you need to do. For example, like automatically creating the users, installing Docker out of box so that you have an immutable instance and you can work right out of the way on that. But now we need to install Docker. Let me check how we install it. Ubuntu. I didn't do this. Okay. So right out of box, we will now install, we don't need to update old versions, so we're getting back. Let me now check where my terminal is. Yeah, probably. We also don't need sudo right now because we are installing the certificates. And probably in the next cafe or so, we could have a 5-minute GitLab auto-scaling runner of all the stuff that we are currently doing. So afterwards, we install now all these packages that are required. So these are packages mostly for getting the right software, checking the software, and so on. We can now executing the script to get the GPG key so that we can verify that the packages are now reliable. Yeah, we won't check it. Literally, now we add the repository of Docker to that. And okay, now we should be able to install Docker. So we don't need to set it again. So the problem is that I can't see the chat anymore when I'm sharing, right? No, there it is. Nice. Because I'm looking for the link from Max. Okay, I got it. Nice. So everything is in place. We have Docker now, and we can now connect it, Lily. So hopefully, is Docker Compose now packaged these days? No.
No, you on Linux you need to like curl and download it.
Yeah.
On macOS it's part of the Docker for Mac installation.
That command right there claims that you can just apt install Docker Compose.
Yeah, but mostly I don't like to use for package managers because they're using an outdated version.
Yeah, but can you try that? Would be interesting if it works.
Let us check. Probably Ubuntu is so fine they will provide us something.
Oh,
By the way,
interesting.
does it? Yeah, it's
125,
order.
is that-
Currently, upstream is available 1.28. We are now on 1.25.
And I think upstream we rolled it into Golang because previously it was Python.
Now they're bumping also some Python, but okay, we will use this to be faster, doing the boring way.
Boring solutions.
Yeah. So now we will create the runner image. Mostly what is here, so we will use the volume, so it will create a folder, it's stored Hetzner config. Then we need to handle the, okay, no worries. So hopefully it will download all this stuff. And I will explain in the meantime, mostly what is interesting about all the runners right now, they are using all Docker Machine, but Docker Machine is mostly not maintained anymore. It will be maintained from Gitlab right on now to use this, the Docker Machine binary, but Docker Machine was intended or invented by Docker, but Docker itself won't maintain this Docker Machine mechanism anymore. So now when we are jumping into the container, hopefully, is there something? Yeah. We can jump into that. I have a bottle that's currently lit. And can start with a process. Okay. Probably we can now see here's now the inner process, and we can see that it runs as the user Gitlab, so don't use a privileged user for that, but all this stuff is run as privileged. Interesting. Yeah, and literally what I want to show you when you type machine, I think. Yeah. They're using these commands literally to control all the stuff. They wrap this into the GitLab stuff, and how I can see the driver that are currently active. I think it was also possible. I know. Okay, Docker machine. Create -- help. Because you can see now here a lot of different options. And by default, the VirtualBox driver will be pinned up. But when you're now asking for a specific driver, for example, for the Hetzner driver, it will show us the subcommands that we can use for the Hetzner stuff. So, but I don't know how the driver is stored. It could be something like this.
That all the virtual machines are spawned on the same machine, or how is it distributed?
No, the virtual so the Docker Machine driver, Docker Machine will ask in the Hetzner Cloud API. We'll create a VM, we'll put on all the steps that we are doing now by hand, will Docker Machine do automatically for us.
Okay.
And the Gitlab runner instructs Docker Machine to do that. So this is the concept behind the auto-scaling. Mostly. Probably it should be now that the user stuff is correct.
It's called Hetzner, not H-Cloud.
Ah, cool. because now you can see also these message, hey, it doesn't in the default path, and all the drivers are prefixed with .machine -driver, and this is the binary. It's literally the same. They don't have special any outputs. Here you can see it. So now you can see that all the commands that we are currently use, these are the special commands that can be used by the Gitlab runner to instruct also Hetzner to do special things. And they will be reflected also into the config toml mostly. When you are looking into the part, we will copy this from the blog post. So I need to know where to put it. I'm in the container, right? So cd. Yeah, okay. And then we create the config toml. No, I will do the same stuff on the host. It would be the same. Okay. And right now you can also see here the command, the machine options. And this is the same options that we can use from the help that we saw before. So for example, here's now the API token that we put in, which type, and so on. Probably we don't need this.
Yeah, you can delete the whole cache section.
So then we don't use the distributed cache. Or we delete this. I hope so this works out of the box.
It should. If we would add some sort of S3 compatible bucket thing, we could add it again.
Okay. Now we need two things. We need the API token. So we can fetch this API token from the Hetzner side. So when we are going into security API tokens, we will generate an API token. I think we need read and write access because we need to create resources. So we need also to have write access. And GitLab autoscaler. And then we have this token where we put it in. And now the last missing part is we need to get the access token. And probably we need also to update the URL. We will do it right now with gitlab.com because it's easier in terms of, I don't want to set up right now a GitLab also, but we can do it afterwards and register it. Because I need DNS. It's more complex. So we will get gitlab.com, and probably on gitlab.com we don't have the options to use shared runners, so register for all our environments, for all the instances that the users are currently using, because GitLab is currently providing us those. But what we can do is we will create a new project under.
You can totally go there. You have permissions.
Yeah, mostly. So then we can see it, and I hope I don't export anything. Yeah, it's okay. So when we are clicking on settings, CI/CD, we have now the option to install group runners. So this is the stuff that we need to put into our GitLab runner config. And mostly what will happen afterwards, every project and everyone can contribute, can use these runners. We have also a different option would be to do this on a project level. So when we are clicking, for example, on our general project, and there we want to run some CI jobs, we could go also to settings and CI/CD, then also runners. And you see here it's a different token because it's a specific runner only for this project. And yeah, but we will use it from the group. So we go back. use this from the group. And make a reminder that we will need to reset the token, or we get people will add us free runners for everyone.
No worries. I've noted 2 resets already, so everything will be cycled afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. Probably now we can check the Docker container that probably don't get the changes directly. What?
Getexample.com?
Does it work automatically? I think I need to restart it. Right.
Yeah, it was also still using the old placeholder as access key. So
yeah, so to be ensure that everything is loaded correctly, we will remove everything away. So we do a docker compose -v and spin up the container again. Mostly the -v, what it will do is it will remove also managed volumes from Docker. So if you want to clean up your Docker Compose file automatically with all the volumes attached to that, you can use the -v. But it doesn't work for bind mount. So our Hetzner config is still there because it's not a managed volume from Docker. And now we should probably see in the log that it works. No.
Docker's not really my thing, but after the gitlab.com in the config, does it need the trailing slash? Because saying gitlab.com ZUI UI.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Trailing slash. You mean here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is new to me. So we're doing the fast way, so we're asking for... I get it now, what doesn't work.
It concatenates the 2 together. The key with the URL.
Yeah, the problem is a different one. I think I forgot this. We need to do an important step lately. This token that we are currently using is not the token that we'll need for access. So in this space, the token in line 10, the number, this is the access token, but the token that we are currently receiving is the registration token. So what we need to do, we need to register the runner first. It's also mentioned in the blog post. I overskipped this. So to do that, we need to run the register mode. And now, yeah, we can use the default. Doesn't it work?
You have to type it out.
Of course, I don't have it in my space.
It's possible that it will completely override the config now, but we have
now
to
it will append it mostly.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Auto scaler. So we will provide some state text mostly. I really like to do this. I try Docker state to see that better in the UI. And then we say Docker machine. And be using a default image. Like I'm really a fan of Debian, so let's use Debian. And now the registration is finished. So first I check up in the UI if everything works, and hopefully, no.
Do you have to start the runner as well?
No, we probably not that we need to restart the runner. You can see here's our runner now. And you see the token is a little bit different. Everything is words is accepted. I will copy this part, honestly. You did it. And here, you see our runner is also registered. So it doesn't need to rescale, and now we need probably to run a job on that, right? Yeah, that's everything that we need to do. So we will create our new autostater project. Or should we use someone else as a template that we can use? Or is it?
Maybe Go template.
No, project template.
Oh, that Go micro.
Okay, you said it. When it doesn't work, it's your fault.
Doesn't matter, we can delete it.
Awesome. Autostair. And now we need also to adjust the CI pipeline because we want to ensure that it runs on our state runners literally. And I need to add this tag so it will use to select the runner. Because when we don't do this, it would use the jobs from it would use the shared runners from Gitlab. And we want to use our own literally. So I hope so everything is fine with that. And now let's see. You can see now the Gitlab runner is connecting. And probably let's check Hetzner. And there you see now for each job, literally an own runner will be spin up. And now it depends on the configuration. You see, it takes some time to get all the stuff done. So currently we don't have any logs on that to see what's happening during the boot phase. Or can we see also logs? Seeing some refs, but not the boot up logs. So you would see, I can show you in the meantime, I can show you something before I forgot it. Because I talked about the topic that it uses Docker machine. And now when we are tapping Docker machine ls, you can see now the machines are also there. And for easy jumping, you can now do Docker machine SSH, and you are now on the runner machine. And you can see probably now all the jobs. Do I have watch? Yeah. Cool. And probably we were a little bit too slow so that our job is finished. No, okay, currently do some preparations in the background because the job doesn't start it. So let's wait in the CI when our first Docker container will spin up. But this is the main idea behind autoscaling. So it uses literally Docker machine to execute autoscaling. You can run it on every machine that supports Docker machine. So it can be OpenStack, AWS, GCP. I did this also for some customers on bare metal. So it's also possible to do it with KVM. But you need to do a lot of work more there. But it works. Probably it takes some time.
So in short, it can do anything which Docker machine can do, which is built in, or
yeah, mostly when you need to put the binary into the path so that it found the driver so that you can use every driver. This is the main reason. Probably we could try to contribute the Hetzner Cloud provider into the upstream, so that will be also there by default, that you don't need to use a different image. But in the end, it should not work. Or did I miss something? Yeah. Mostly probably also, now I need to check where my slide is.
While we wait for the runner to come up, there has been a question in the live stream on YouTube. Sebastian asked if GitLab will maintain the Docker machine runner for the future. So he's like want to know if it's a future-proof solution to use it.
There's an interesting topic about that I would want now to mention really. I think there's an issue about that. How the future of the GitLab runner deployments will probably change. I need to check where the issue is. Give me 1 minute more. So because, let me check. Now, where's my chat? Yeah. So here's the issue literally. I can also open it. It would be cool. So there's because this auto-scaling works for most of the customers, but it doesn't have, for example, it doesn't have HA out of the box. It could be not cost-effective in terms of, okay, you need to run it at least 1 hour on Hetzner Cloud, but probably my jobs take only 10 minutes or something like. How can we do a better effectiveness of all the jobs? All the stuff is literally right now mentioned, but the current state is that GitLab uses the shared runner for itself. So all the shared runners that you are using are also using the Docker machine auto driver. There are also some window runners out there. And mostly it seems it will be maintained. And you can also do, I read a lot of stuff, you can probably also do it with having single runners on auto-scaling groups on each of these cloud providers and spin it up on your own. But these auto-scaling alternative by GitLab is really easy to use mostly. But it seems that it will mostly continue. Currently, another alternative, if you want to scale your runners, is that you use Kubernetes for that on some parts. So for if you have simple builds like web applications building or something like that, Kubernetes is also fun. Yeah, but there's also you can check it also because I think in the GitLab runner repository there's an information which
there's an epic for that. Let me link that.
Docker machine they're using. But there are some other problems in the community because I think Minikube uses also Docker machine for that, and they have also the same problem to maintain Docker machine by its own.
But I've linked the epic, and I will also share it on Twitter. I would recommend subscribing to it so you get updates.
Yeah. Oh, no, my Windows frozen. No, not. Okay. Yeah, that's true. I hope so. My job is running. Why doesn't it come up? But Docker is there. It checks for the logs. Oh. Now this is an interesting topic because now you can also see here now the provisioning steps. What it really do is like it's connected via SSH. It will spin up Ubuntu mostly, and then installing Docker, copying the certificates, and there are currently some problems of setting up the certificates on the Docker daemon. This is why our job isn't triggered right now.
I'm 100% sure that I have seen this error before. I just have to try to remember the solution of it.
It's a long time ago when I did this. It's like one time when it works, I don't touch it anymore.
Yeah.
And it also reduces, like Max said, it reduces my cost from 60 euros a month to 3 euros or something like that. So because I don't have so many workloads that needs to be run separately, I need only on some time. And for this, auto scaling really great in terms of also saving costs. Not that I need to have a many fleet of runners, I need only runners on some point.
So if you have many runners which run 24/7, it's not the best option.
Yeah, that's true. It depends on the use case.
Yeah.
Really. If you are sitting in your company, you are bare metal, probably then it's easier in terms of cost effective that you using your machines. But if you're in a cloud environment where where on demand is expensive, more expensive than running it like in long term, or when running on demand in long term is really expensive, then auto scaling could be a good way to solve this problem.
But I can also mix it, so I can use my on-demand runners as well as the.
Yeah.
So like,
there are a lot of options that you can do.
But the cool thing is you can always register any kind of runner to GitLab, and so it's always hidden behind the runner stuff.
Yeah.
So there is a workaround for the issue. It's basically to use an older Docker version in the runners. I'm not sure. Maybe there is an actual fix by now, but to get it running, you can add this to the options in the Docker machine config.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's do it. Where is it? In the engine?
No, lower
machine options.
Machine options. Yeah. There we can add it.
At some points.
I haven't checked for a while if there is a better solution by now or not. But
it could be the problem because in Docker 19.3.10 they introduced the self-issuing certificates and so on.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's the problem.
I remember this because it's right now interesting when I run Docker also in dint mode in GitLab. I don't try to update Docker with every update anymore because I need to fix it every time again. So it's quite weird. So currently for me, the newest version also not working. Okay. So then I restart the runner again.
I guess I should update my blog post. So if people try to implement it, it actually works.
Yeah, for this the cafe. So we checked your blog post mostly. Yeah, for information.
You can link the video as well.
Yeah. I need a continuous testing for my blog posts if they are still up to date.
Yeah, mostly to having like an Ansible script.
And probably there are some people watching right now, and they will try it as well. I'm linking your blog post in the video description as soon as possible.
I will update the post after the meeting. So
perfect. Thanks.
Feel free to do it. I will delete the old config that we don't need anymore. I'm so bad with them. But now we have a problem, literally, I think. So if we don't know. Okay, now it starts better. Probably, but we need probably to rerun the instances. And start a new pipeline. And most important, check if the servers are still running, delete them by hand then, because they aren't controlled anymore. And then you're wondering why your price gets high. I will delete them. And you can also see the new jobs are currently here. So let's get back to my terminal. And hopefully now everything works. Yeah, it's true now.
It's the time for coffee.
It's mostly like waiting on pipelines, so it's like the XJCD. We are now next step. Yeah. Now you can see the runner is executing that, and the cool stuff behind that is because we are using Docker, we are very flexible to which image we want to use, and we don't need to stick to all the stuff. We can choose it by our own, and our operators needs only to deploy us those two runners, and we can use them. Yeah.
a while ago, I also did some presentation at work about something where we needed to wait for the pipelines, and I also just told the other teams, so if they want to get paid for watching pipelines, that they should join our team, because basically that's what we do all day.
Yeah, mostly waiting on one pipeline and watching another.
Yeah.
Fail.
This is a problem on the project, so probably I think it will also break here.
I'm happy it's at least not an issue with the blog post.
It seems to be this crypto library.
Yeah, well, it's a no problem. Yeah, we can see it here.
Go home.
Go home.
Yeah.
The new exit.
Yeah, but that's really the essential meaning of the GitLab runner. So, and it's straightforward mostly. So with Max Crew blog post, it's very easy to do this, and probably you also can do this on your own.
So you mentioned that you have done this on a bare metal setup as well.
Yeah.
So then you have to write your own plugin?
No, there's a KVM driver, but it's not maintained anymore, I think.
Okay.
It's like mostly doing this stuff on bare metal is more like tinkering. So it's all like my favorite naming of this, it's more like duct tape programming. So we're using duct tape for everything and everything works. But it works in the end. It was also scalable for the use case that we had. But currently, with this approach, I wouldn't do this anymore. But it depends. So the library that I mentioned is here. It's the runners.machine driver for that.
But it seems that Docker machine will be maintained. So
yeah,
there are enough parties to have an interest in that.
Yeah, I think if GitLab would stop maintaining it, then they would provide an alternative. I don't think they would drop it without another solution.
Yeah, I think there are ideas about writing additional custom executors and like integrations, but it's really hard. And yeah, you cannot drop something which is used, I don't know, maybe in lots of installations all over the world. For now, it's reliable, and I think we have 3 patches inside. So basically, technically, it's a fork somehow, but still, there are some bugs which cannot be fixed, as far as I know. So we need a long-term solution, which should be the epic discussion to follow.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see that if I remember correctly, Docker machine was just built in the beginning for having these Docker toolboxes on Mac and Windows. If I remember correctly. Interesting how far this project has gone.
Yeah, mostly everyone in the community use it. So, most important. Oh no, the logo is gone.
I've used it a lot with Minikube and fighting against the company proxy. So,
but most important, like every technology, you should choose it by the logo, and Docker Machine has a really cool logo. So this is the original logo of Docker Machine.
I didn't know that. That looks nice.
And also, it's also stairway runner, so there are multiple runners. Yeah, but yeah, that's it really for the GitLab runner auto scaling.
Yeah, thanks a lot for diving into this. It's great to see that it works. So lots of motivation. Probably we can either install a GitLab server next week or leave it as a home exercise to Patricia. Hi. Yeah, I've updated the YouTube video description and responded in the live chat. I've live tweeted something. So I think, do you have anything else in your mind you want to share with the audience?
Me or Max?
Not right
Everyone,
now.
sorry.
It's more like I wanted to ask you about a future topic, but maybe just after only if we are finished with the auto-scaling stuff.
We are probably finished. So I'm currently deleting all the stuff.
Okay, it's too late for questions
Delete,
now
delete,
anyway.
No, then we do it again. No worries. For the exercises, okay, let's put it into Ansible or something like else so that we can repeat it.
Yeah, maybe we can try it next week with Terraform. I would love to learn more Terraform.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
So
future topic.
The original reason why Michael asked me or invited me to this meeting, like a year back or half a year back, I don't know, was because we talked about K3S on Hetzner on Twitter. And after Christmas, I started to hack a lot of hours on this. And I now have a Gitlab pipeline, which uses where you just give your Hetzner API key and an SSH key. And it will use Terraform to create VMs. Then it uses Ansible to provision them and to install K3S to configure everything. And then it uses Helm file and Helm to set up all the Hetzner networking and storage stuff inside of the cluster. And so after 10 minutes, you have a running Kubernetes cluster on Hetzner. So if you are interested, we could do this in one of the next cafes.
Yeah.
I don't think we can do. Okay. I don't think we should do all of it in one session because it's quite a lot. At least if you're new to Terraform and new to Ansible and new to Kubernetes, then it's a bit hard to do all the stuff in an hour or so. But we could start with the Terraform and Ansible stuff, for example, and then another week install Kubernetes in it.
That would be awesome.
And after this, I will show them how to install GitLab on a Kubernetes with self-signed certificates.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's nice. Do you want to start next week, or you're free to like say no, say yes to anything? So
yes, I think I can prepare something for next week because on Thursday next week I will show some of it at work anyway, so I can prepare for both events at the same time.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
We can battle test your presentation then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe we should start asking Hetzner for a sponsored account where we can create the VMs.
Yeah, I think Lucas Kemmerling, I think, has retweeted my tweet already, so he's watching or maybe watching. Yeah, I'll ask him.
Yeah, if not, it's I don't think it's an issue. It's not that expensive, but it would be nice.
As we know, it's not that expensive. So
yeah.
Yeah, let me know how many. Just send me the 10 pages PDF you get afterwards, and I expense it for you.
Yeah, then I get 50 cents. Yes.
Yes. No, I only pay in Krishikiksi, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's I'm fine with that because my research, the one you gave me in Nuremberg are empty.
I think we have a deal, to be honest. So let's. If you need anything till next week, just ping me. Otherwise, thanks for everything. And I would say we say bye to YouTube now.
Right, bye YouTube.